So hello gamers, today I'm going to be ranking the DMRs and Phantom Forces. Keep in mind this is my opinion, feel free to disagree. I feel like ranking these from worst to best is like not a good idea, and for the first few videos I was doing that, but now I'm not going to. This time I'm just going to actually just play with the gun and give it a letter grade similar to a tier list, which is, if you guys didn't know, A, B, C, D, E, F, and actually there's an S at the top there, so it's S, A, B, C, D, E, F. Now first off, the Mark 11. This thing has kind of meh RPM of 330. It has a weird delay if you click it too fast. However, it can 2-tap torso to like 110 studs, 3-tap anywhere in the body, all ranges, and this thing is just a gamer gun. It's accurate. It does a decent amount of damage, actually kind of crazy amount of damage, to be real with you. And it's just great. It has a good capacity as well. It's pretty easy to use if you can get the clicks per second down. However, other than that, it's actually like one of the hardest in the game, since like, man, you gotta click at such a weird rate. As you can see from that like 6 kill streak all of a sudden, it's pretty good. But yeah, keep in mind, if your CPS is kind of weird and you click too fast or too slow, it's gonna be pretty bad. So yeah, it takes a certain type of person to use this thing. Now for a grade, I would give this thing probably an A, if not an S. Like, it's so good. So yeah, we'll go for an A, because I don't think any of the DMRs are truly S tier, but we'll see once we get into the later ones. Next up is the SKS. The SKS is actually pretty good. However, if I were gonna rank these, I would put the SKS as the bottom spot. And if you know me, you know that I actually do like this gun, and I also have a ton of kills on it, over 1,000. However, it's really not the best as DMRs go. A lot of the long-range battle rifles are just going to perform better, along with the fact that this thing does less damage than an AK-47, doesn't really shoot that fast, and the multis are alright, but not anything too insane. I guess it can 3-tap torso all ranges, and it can like 2-shot headshot, but basically nowhere else up close. And as you can see, like, it kills. However, it's just too spammy. If you use a scope on this thing, you're not really using it correctly. It has pretty low recoil though, but when you think about something like the AG3, which can 3-tap limb and almost 2-tap torso up close, and shoots faster and is automatic and has the same amount of bullets, like, there's not really a lot of reason to use this thing. However, it is a very, very easy gun to use, and probably the best low-rank DMR in the game, just because it's so easy to use. Low recoil, decent RPM, pretty spammy. You can still use this thing at range. It's not like the SL8 where like you have to spam it to be good with it. You can like be accurate and probably still do well. I have 888 kills with this thing now, which is kind of insane. Like, I have a lot of kills with it. And yeah, I'd give this thing a solid C. It's probably going to be the lowest ranked one on this list. However, it's nowhere near bad. But next up is probably the better SKS. It's the SL8. This thing has the same RPM as an AK-74, but does 38 to 28, I think. Now, the multis are pretty garbage. It has like basically a non-existent torso multi, barely above 0, well, barely above 1.0, I guess, and a regular headshot multi of 1.4. However, it can 2-shot to the head up close, 3-shot to the body, and keep in mind this is to like 88 studs, and 4-shot anywhere on the body, all ranges. And when you think about that compared to something like the AK-74, which it's tied in terms of RPM, that's kind of insane, you know? It also has the 30-round capacity and a pretty quick reload. Like, this thing is kind of balling. You would think that this would be the worst DMR, but is not by a long shot. It also comes with a decent scope. Like, now that they changed the Henselt to actually be a decent scope, instead of being like this, you know, that's way better. You can basically run this thing stock and go off. See, look at that. I don't really get the best RPM out of this thing, but for the RPM that I get, I do very well with it. And keep in mind, it basically has the same shots to kill as the SKS, but more bullets, more RPM. Originally, I thought the SL8 was like the worst one in the game, and then somebody was like, you should actually use the SL8. And I was like, whatever, I guess I will. And I loved it, and it's been so good. Most people just think, hey, it's like a assault rifle, but it's just hard to shoot. And I guess that's true, but it actually does such good damage. Like, yeah, maybe G36 is going to work better for a lot of players, but this just does way more damage. And I think it has better muzzle velocity. I could be wrong. Maybe about the same. It also has a long barrel, and the long barrel is kind of cracked on it, I think. It's like a sniper long barrel, I think, where it just makes both your ranges better. Oh my gosh, there's so many people. Okay, there's one. Okay, there's two. My only big gripe with this is that for a DMR, the multis are kind of trash, but the damage itself is not bad considering what it is. And recoil-wise, it's not too bad. I don't even think I have a muzzle brake on mine. You're gonna find this thing actually works up close as well as an LRC. Ooh, a KS-23M, okay. Oh yeah, so for the grade, I'm gonna give this thing the KS23M gets an S tier, obviously, but the SL8 gets, we'll give it a B. It's not quite an A. The Mark 11 is probably going to do you better since it can 2-tap and 3-tap anywhere. But it's pretty good. You know what? Just to be nice, a B+. Next up is the VSS though. Now the VSS statistically seems very good. 700 RPM, 2-tap to the torso, all ranges, 2-tap limb up close, and it used to do 100 headshot damage. Now it does 99. However, you can probably tell by now, the recoil is not the best. Actually, I have a 7.75 KD. Jeez. I've always said this, like DMRs on like somewhat long range maps are just the best for popping off. But yeah, the VSS Ventores, really fun gun. I'm pretty sure I pre-bought this gun actually. I kind of regretted it because it's not the best to use. If I'm gonna be real with you, like using a gun like this at long range is not really that efficient, even when you actually tap fire with it. Even though it does good damage, the muzzle velocity is kind of trash, and you can't really use the full RPM because it's got a ton of recoil. And up close, it doesn't have the burst that the ECR has, or the RPM, or the recoil control, but still has the same hits to kill. And I'm pretty sure the ECR can actually 2-hit limb farther. So yeah, overall, you can probably tell I'm not gonna give this a insane grade. I think I'll give it like a B-, maybe a C. I'll give it a B-. But next up is the MSG90. Now the MSG90 could almost be good. And you're probably like, Strider, I thought you liked the MSG90. Dude, I love this gun. This gun's so funny. However, the Scar SSR at the end of the day is just better. You can headshot kill farther. It has the same capacity. It can 2-shot as long as you hit one torso, which is not that difficult. And this thing is just kind of irrelevant compared to it. But this does have better recoil control. I think reload's more reserve. But yeah, other than that, it's not really that good. I still think this gun is cool and quirky, so I do use it sometimes. I like it, it's a fun gun, but it's not really the best, you know? So yeah, this one can get like we'll give it like a B, maybe a B- as well. And next up is the TCR. The TCR is a very interesting gun. It has a lot of RPM for what it is. It's a 10-round 50 cal DMR, but it has 400 RPM, which is kind of insane. Like you can headshot kill with one shot, kind of far, I guess, not that far, probably like 80 studs. You can probably 2-tap torso all ranges, 3-shot basically anywhere else, maybe even get a 2-tap. The thing is, even though you have that much RPM, can't really do it at its full RPM, more than the Mark 11 does, chances are you're not going to be able to shoot it that fast because it's a freaking 50 cal. It has a lot of recoil, as you can see, bro. It's not by any means a bad gun, and I really like it, but like, not the best. Up close though, you can get some really easy 2-taps, and I would say that it's probably better than the VSS to use up close, and in LRC, because in LRC it's just a way better tappy gun than the VSS is, since it does way more damage. I think has better multis by a lot. I think it also has more muzzle velocity. Probably. Maybe about the same, since like the 50 Beowulf ammo type has pretty bad muzzle velocity. But anyways, I'm gonna give this thing, I'll give it like a B. Yeah, I guess a B. Now this one though, the SA58, oh my gosh, I used to love this gun. I still think it's great, but I don't really use it that much. So as you can see, this thing shoots very fast. It actually shoots faster than the SKS. How? Why does it shoot faster than the SKS? Also, I got a 5.63 KD, not too bad. So yeah, like I was saying, it has 500 RPM more than an SKS, 2 studs of pen. The multis for the torso isn't that good, but it has a 2.1 times headshot multi, which allows it to do, I think, 65 damage all ranges to the head and over 100 damage in CQC to the head. Now, what this means is that you can one-shot headshot to over 50 studs. So it has more RPM than an M3A1, does the same damage except for the head, in which case it literally one-taps head. Like, this thing is so good. Up close, it's basically like the best foul in the game. And in LRC, probably the best foul in the game, if you can be accurate with it. Accuracy-wise, you know, it's got a bit of recoil. It doesn't shoot as fast as the other fouls, and it's kind of hard to use. But if you can get this thing down, you will go off. The thing is, like, it doesn't really function like a DMR fully. It's basically like, I don't know, a better Mark 11 in some ways, a better SKS in some ways. It has a lot of recoil, but a decent amount of reserves, and it just goes off, dude. You should probably check it out. It's like a really good gun. But yeah, here we are on the final one, the Scar SSR. If I'm gonna give any DMR an S tier, it might be the Scar, because it's probably the best one in the game, and it's also like the highest ranked one and the most used one probably. Like, everybody knows about the Scar SSR. It one-shots head to like 160 studs. It does 97 torso up close to very, very far. I think it stops at like 81 torso. So basically does sniper damage to the torso. All right, I got a new game. So basically sniper damage to the torso, right? However, one-shot headshot to like 160 or so studs, and it has like 220 RPM, but like I'm not hitting anything with it. It's not not the best CQC DMR. That's probably the SA58. But up close, it can work since it does so much damage to the torso. 97, dude? What? How can it do 97 to the torso? It's a DMR. The only DMR that really acts like this gun does is the MSG90, and that does about 60 damage to the torso. So yeah, it does 57 limb, which, you know, that's still a 2-tap. However, if you hit the torso, it has a 1.7 times torso multi. Look, 97. So a lot of people do say that this is a better gun than the Dragunov SVU since it shoots faster and has the advantage of doing a lot more torso damage. However, I don't know. I think they're balanced. I feel like this might be a little bit better, but the SVU is really nice because it can 2-tap to the limbs. This can't, since it drops 57 to 48 instead of 60 to 40? No, 60 to 50. I'm going 5 and 3, but I don't think I've actually gotten a kill. Only like 97 assist counts. Uh-oh. Oh my gosh. Please die. But yeah, this gun kind of gamer. I do like it. I do enjoy it. It's a pretty fun gun. But I think that just about does it for the video on ranking the DMRs. I know that this has been like a long time coming since I haven't done a ranking video in a very long time. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace, 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 peace.